There was something I didn't want to think about. It made me really, really uncomfortable, and I didn't want to think about it, to be honest. But the moment I forced myself to do it, to think about that thing, I saw that it was the key to fixing my biggest problem right now, my biggest constraint. I've been trying to improve my planning, my prioritization, my execution, but no matter how much I optimized, something was always off, something was always wrong. And today I finally realized and internalized that I was subconsciously avoiding a thought that made me really uncomfortable, and it was something that I knew it would fix my prioritization, but I didn't want to think about it. Once I forced myself to confront it, I understood exactly why I had been struggling. And the crazy thing is that this thing would fix most of my prioritization issues. So today I rewrote my planning system, I refocused my priorities, I redefined how I'll structure my work moving forward. And I want to ask you something. If you're feeling stuck, just ask yourself, is there something that you know you should be thinking about, but you're avoiding completely? Because that thing might be the key to unlocking your progress. And I'm saying this from heart, and I hope you're not avoiding this because it has created a lot of pain over the past few months. But right now, I'm going to show you everything that I did today. And today is day, I don't even know what day it is, 89 of documenting my journey for creating my space learning platform. So let's go. So let me start by telling you, like, what was that thing? My problem was that I tried to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again for months, and I wasn't aware of it. The thing that I was doing was trying to create the perfect system. I was trying to optimize everything to perfection, as you see here in Notion, try to perfect everything and doing tasks again and again and again. So as you see over here, there's many things that I've been doing for the past few months. And inside each thing, there's like a whole database. I mean, this is not a good example, but inside, for example, this one, there's a whole database over here full of things that I've done, full of things, full of insights, full of stuff. And I've been trying to repeat every single thing, every single process again. I've been trying to create the same system over and over again. The problem was that I created one thing and I just throw it away. I create another thing, throw it away, throw everything away. I don't keep anything in my close to me. So I'm basically working and spending time and I'm not getting anything out of it. And this increased my anxiety like crazy. And that made it so much worse for me because if the anxiety increases, the worry increases, then my ability to think logically and to reflect and to be introspective goes out of the window. Like it just doesn't work. So that's why I repeated the same thing over and over and over again. My anxiety was so big and I was focusing on so many things at the same time. And I was trying to create the same process over and over again. But right now, I stopped this cycle. I finally realized that I just need to stop throwing everything away and face the discomfort of figuring out why I'm throwing everything away, why I'm not taking what I have and trying to modify it and build it and build upon it and join things together. That's why I have done this thing that you're seeing right now. I have gathered everything that I've done over the past few months and put it in one place. And now my job is going to be focusing on what's really uncomfortable and trying to synthesize all of this, trying to get and take what I like, take what I don't like, and throw it away, take what I like, and make it into a system. Why have I been avoiding all of this for this whole time? Probably because I've been really anxious about spending time on creating systems, and I've been really afraid of falling into the trap of over optimization. And this fear, paired with the fear of not achieving my project for the deadline that I have, well, that is what I was kind of avoiding. And it probably goes much deeper than this. I might not be fully aware of how deep this problem goes. but the action that we're going to take is this one. But how exactly am I going to take action? You might ask, like, okay, I know that I need to just put things in the same place and focus on facing my fear. But it's not as simple as that. I'm going to follow a specific process so that I don't fall into the same trap again and I actually make progress towards my goal and towards this fixing this barrier of my mind, fixing this mistake, fixing this problem. I'm going to show you this process right now. One big thing that's going to help me with this is doing the black box analysis. What is this? It's basically when I have a process here that is not giving me the output that I want. For example, imagine I'm putting a lot of time and effort and resources into this process because I want to get, my goal is to get very good grades, the best grades. But even though I'm putting so much time, in reality, I'm just getting very poor grades. I'm not getting the grades that I would expect from putting all of this time and effort. So I know that there's something wrong with the process. I feel it. I intuitively feel it that there's something wrong. And I have also some emotion towards it. That's what's happening right now with my planning and prioritization and all this goal setting stuff. I'm scared that if I go through this process, I'm gonna fall into the trap of over optimization. I feel it. So right now, what I need to do is go from this feeling of intuition to explicitly defining it with a lot of detail. And how do I do that? There's two very important questions that I can ask myself. Why do I feel this? And get really deep into that. Dig into it. Really dig into it. And then the second question. Which part of this process specifically makes me feel this way? Dig into that deep a lot. Well, and these questions are important towards understanding what beliefs, what understanding, what techniques, what principles do I need to recalibrate? What do I need to change? What can I experiment with? Now, what is the end goal? Like, how deep do I get? I need to get as deep as I can until I get to the point where I can create questions that are specific and are tied to an experiment. For example, questions that make me choose between two things, questions that make me take action on something, make an experiment on something. If I'm trying to choose between two things, either I'm gonna have to learn by experimenting or learn by doing some research. I really need to get specific questions. And after I get those specific questions, that's when I can make targeted experiments to the specific part of the process where I feel like it's like I can't do it because I'm so afraid, I'm so insecure and anxious about that part of the process. But that is when I define it, and if I define it, like half of the fear goes away, and I can create experiments. I'm repeating myself here, but I want to get that clear. And what do I do after I create the experiment? After I execute the experiment? After that, I will reflect and document it. It's important to document it and to stack those experiments. If I see that something doesn't work, I'm going to reflect over it and create another experiment based on what I know now, based on the new knowledge that I have acquired after experimenting with this and knowing that, oh, well, this doesn't work. Why wouldn't that work? Maybe I can try this other thing. So I will try that other thing. Maybe that doesn't work as well. So I would say, okay, why did these two things didn't work? What feels like it could work? And then maybe I try another experiment, and that third experiment actually works. So that's the plan. That's what I'm going to follow right now. And over the next few days, I'm going to talk about how I'm going through this and all of that. I'm also now going to show you what I did in terms of defining my planning and prioritization system, and also my learning system for SpaceWise, which is really important. It's the main core feature for my space mission simulator, my space learning platform that is going to teach space science, rocket science, physics, and math. And it's going to be optimized for learning science with learning science principles and all of that stuff. So right now, let's get started. I'm going to keep explaining some other things. So this is what I'm doing to map out my processes and define them. You might see that there's code over here. And yeah, like my brain just works so much better if I create an algorithm, if I create some code. Instead of just doing it in some other way, I find that the code logic, the parameters, the functions, it makes it so much easier for my brain to think about it. Because I've had some experience with coding for a good while. So this is basically it. Like this, if I run this code, it will not work. This is just for me to have a guideline and some steps that I can follow. So first of all, day loop. Okay, I wake up. Perfect. After I wake up, what do? I will schedule my areas, my prioritized areas. Areas can be skills, projects that I'm working on. They can be attributes that I'm trying to develop, like grit, like perseverance, a better mindset. It could be anything that I'm trying to work on and improve. And here, in this step, I will prioritize them. Oh, what the hell just happened? I will prioritize them. I will get my list of areas that I'm working on, all of them. Like it's gonna be a huge one, and then I'm gonna get the available work time that I have for today. If we go to the calendar over here, my daily calendar, I can see clearly how much time do I have to work and how much time do I have for eating, for maybe a math tutoring, maybe I have some cleaning and calling my family, recording, dinner, editing, and all that stuff. So here I have a bunch of time to work, and I'm gonna put the available work time there. Then I'm gonna reduce the areas. How do I do this? Well, I'm going to prioritize based on which areas are my current constraints towards achieving my goals. What are my current constraints? And I'm going to prioritize those 3, 2, something like this. Then after I have my 3 or 2 or 1 area that I'm going to improve on and work on today, I'm going to prioritize how much time I'm going to give to each one of those areas. So I might want to work on mindset for an hour. Well, this is not working, I don't know. I might want to work on learning how to learn, the skill of learning. I might want to learn how to learn like this. Then in the beginning, I might want to work on time management, you know? These are areas. I don't know why is this not creating. Okay, thank you. These are areas. And the act of assigning time to this is prioritizing how much am I going to assign to this. After I do this, I'm going to come over here, prioritize the sequence. Which one am I gonna do? Am I gonna work on first? Then after that, I'm gonna plan my tasks for each area. I'm gonna prioritize them, I'm gonna sequence them, I'm gonna time block them. The same thing that I did. And then this is where it differs. For each task, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna create mini milestones. And for each mini milestone of this task, I'm going to time box it. So imagine if I want to work on this task of creating this learning this system of prioritization. What I would do here is break it down. Like, what would be the first milestone that I can think of? Well, maybe create the big picture steps, like not get into details, and first create the big picture to get a broad understanding of what is this system going to do. Or maybe even the first thing would be to define the purpose of the system, define what problem it's going to solve. So that is a mini milestone, and I can assign, for example, 5 minutes to this mini milestone. Then when I execute, I will start this 5-minute timer, and I will try to execute this as fast as, I mean, not as fast, but as much as I can, as good as I can. And after those 5 minutes, I will reflect. How did that go? Did that go well? Did I plan correctly? Did I get distracted? What did I do wrong? What did I do well? Now, after reflecting on that, I will go on to my next mini milestone, and I will do the same thing. There's another thing that could be really good for this process that I'm experimenting with. Usually, things are not very easy, they're not straightforward when I'm executing tasks. I'm usually getting blocked by mental barriers. I'm usually fighting fear, discomfort, and all of that, which is part of the process. But sometimes I get really blocked, and sometimes I don't know what to do. I don't know what would be the best decision to make, and I get blocked. My solution to that would be, first, I mean, I could just not care about it and just do it anyways and do an experiment anyways, which is really valid. But then, if I want to improve my process, I can also create questions that come up. When I get blocked, I usually am doubtful. I have doubts about what should I do. Should I go with option 1 or option 2 or even option 3 there? And then I will create a question and I will note it down in a notes, like in a notepad, so for example, here we have something here. It's asking question directly to AI. about your gaps, something suboptimal. And I basically ask questions and I note them down so that after I can process those questions, I can see, okay, is this question actually worth it for me to think about? Can I just ask it to AI and get an answer? Or do I want to actually engage in this question and think about it critically to develop my thinking skills? Because there are some questions that are not actually worth my time or my effort, but there are others that I need to develop my skills. Basically what I just said. I, I have this habit of repeating myself, and I need to work on that. I need to fix that. That's my current time management and prioritization process that I'm experimenting with, and I'm trying to follow consistently, which doesn't always happen, but that is the process of doing marginal gains, doing experiments, seeing why it doesn't work, reflecting, doing more experiments, why it doesn't work, reflecting, and all that stuff. Then I also worked on the learning system for SpaceWise. Here I tried to specify it. I spent a lot of time on this. And as you see, there's many methods, but there's not actually that much progress because I wasn't really productive during this time. I got distracted. I did not plan, and I did not do my mini milestones. So that's a big part of not having an intention and doing stuff randomly, not having a clear direction, not having a clear purpose to my session, to my work session. Anyways, here I just put when a student clicks a lesson, it will start a loading screen, and then it will get the session that was clicked. It will get the object of the session that was clicked. Then it will get the type of the session. Why is the type of the session important? Because after that, I'm gonna execute the pipeline of the type of the session. For example, if the student wants to learn a new topic, it will execute the pipeline of the new topic, which means that it will start up the lesson of the new topic. It will create and initialize the features that are important towards teaching new concepts and ideas to the student that are based on learning science. Same thing here. This is another type of session which has different processes and different ways of helping the student to learn better and more efficiently. I have not defined this yet. I have not specified this yet, but I will be doing it over the next few days, and this is going to get really big. It's going to be a bit detailed, but it's going to help me a lot to get clear about what exactly my app is going to be and what it's going to do. This is also not code that works. This is just pseudocode that I'm doing, that I'm trying to create to get an understanding of the logic of what my program is going to do before diving deep into the C++, into the libraries and all of that stuff. That's basically what I did today. I think I've explained myself correctly. Right now, what I'm going to do is, I'm recording this in the afternoon, at night. What the hell, it's already 12. But right now, what you are probably gonna see is me just working with a time lapse and me sharing my thoughts, what I've been eating today, just random stuff. So just documenting my day while I create this app, while I face struggles, while I just live my life. So yeah, that's basically it. Bye bye. See you in a second. Actually, here. I'm back. So here we got the eggs. Oh yeah, we got 1 dozen. What is one? This is good. 1 dozen, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now let's put this in the fridge, and I'm gonna keep working. So let's go. Okay, so I just finished working, and what I did was reflect a little bit on my system, on my process today of creating this system. What I could do to improve, what do I think that I did wrong in this process, and why do I think that I could have gotten a better output for the time that I put in. And I found some things that I could improve. Like, for example, I found that I was being blocked by complicated things to think about and decisions that were felt really complicated. And instead of writing the questions down and writing my doubts down, or instead of just making a decision and experimenting, I spent a lot of time blocked and I wasn't aware of it. Then I was also switching back and forth between big picture thinking and detailed thinking. I didn't have an intention. I didn't have a an objective for the time that I was putting in. I was just creating the system, but this made it so that I changed between going really detailed and then going really broad and then doing many different things at once and changing between things constantly, and that made it so that I can't speak, I don't know, it's weird, but that resulted in me not being really productive or as productive as I could have been. And also I did not plan. If I were to, as I wrote down here, if I were to plan and set mini milestones and time block those milestones for this task, like for example, if I were to specifically set 15 minutes to achieve this specific method, this specific thing, and if I put a timer and I try to do that in 15 minutes, and after those 15 minutes I stop and I reflect over what happened, how was my progress, how was my process of creating this method, how can I improve, and then reflecting over what would be the next best thing that I can do to make progress. If I were to do that instead of just 3 hours, I don't know, thinking and being not having really an intention, then I could have been much more productive, I believe. Maybe not, maybe that's just another thing that will distract me, but I will experiment with this. That's why I have put it here. I'm going to experiment with the process of creating systems. Then, what am I going to do? What did I do? I also read and studied a little bit over here of these things. And these are things that I did weeks or even months ago that I haven't looked at since then. And these are basically my current level on many areas that are needed to achieve my goals, and this is the target level, and I put here exactly what that means to me, and I just justified my score. So in exam technique right now I'm 0 out of 10, and I have to get to 10 out of 10 to achieve my goal. It's these kind of things, and I haven't looked at this in a while, and that made it so that I could not achieve my goals and I could not have a clear plan, and well, many bad things. The key thing here is that I avoided reflecting over why this wasn't working, and that was a big problem because I'm not improving my skill of goal setting, and I'm also avoiding doing this. I'm also not having a plan, and this has been a big problem of mine because my anxiety has been going up because I'm not making consistent progress. I'm making invisible progress because I don't know where I'm heading, and it's a big problem. So my next actionable step here would be to think about my goal setting, define what I'm doing for goal setting, and do this black box analysis that I have spoken about. This analysis of the process that I'm following, and defining really specifically why am I feeling this and where exactly in this process I'm feeling that it's not working? Where exactly in this process I'm feeling this intuitive understanding that, okay, this is not working. And then I need to specify it so much and get so deep that I can create some questions, some specific questions that I need to ask myself, and that are tied to experiments. And I need to do these experiments to figure out how is it the best way for me to plan and do this goal setting. Now I'm going to get into a call with some mates. I'm gonna have dinner, and then I'm gonna come back and we'll see what we do. So yeah, I'm gonna get into the call. Let's go. Okay, it's been 3 hours more, and I have been working here on the pseudocode or algorithm, or I don't know how you wanna call it, of the SpaceWise app and how it will teach and all of that. I'm really excited because I'm making progress, but I think that I have many inefficiencies right now in my process of creating this code, of thinking, of the logic, of the algorithm. And what I want to do next is, first of all, take a cold shower, eat, cook, and all that stuff. But then I want to decide. I want to prioritize my tasks. I want to see if I want to keep doing this or if I want to develop a system and improve my process of thinking about this. I'm probably going to go with the second one. I'm probably going to work on reflecting over how I worked on this, how I did this, all of this that you're seeing right now, and what can I improve next time to make my time more efficient. There's many things that I did. Okay. How can I make my time more efficient? Because I can definitely think of things that I could have done better to get more output for my time. And in this case, more specifically, this would be to do a better logic and make more progress, make more logic, make more of the algorithm in less time. And the two things that I can think about are the planning. I did not plan anything, and maybe I could have done more thinking while I was executing this task. So what I mean by this is that I could have planned for 20 minutes to do something, to do a certain method in this task, a certain logic. And after those 20 minutes, I could just stop, reflect, see what I can improve, and then plan another task that I can do for another 20 minutes. So for example, if I wanted to plan to do this method for 20 minutes, first of all, I would have to define it. I would have to set an intention and time block the task, which would be much better for me to be more clear about what I want to do. But then also it would allow me to reflect after trying to do the task and see why I couldn't do it or why I did do it. What went well, what went wrong, what can I improve in my process. I could have done that, and I probably would have made more progress. Then there's also the thing of being blocked and wasting a little bit of time thinking about things that feel too difficult to think in the moment, and I spent a lot of time thinking about those things that felt difficult. Now that is not a bad thing, but I could have eased into it, ease into thinking about this hard thing by first thinking about the big picture and thinking about easier things so I can ease into the details. I could have done that, but I didn't really know how I could have done that. So I guess it's my job now to reflect on that and to improve my process. Another thing, actually, 3 that I could have done is that instead of doing that, instead of getting blocked and thinking about that very difficult thing for ages, I could have just note down the question that I had in a document, and that would be much better, because later I can reflect over the question and I can think about it. And right now I can focus on what feels easier, and then on the big picture, and then I can think about the questions that I had that I can note down. And if I don't know the answer to the questions, I can research and I can ask AI, for example. But that is another thing that I don't know if I should do, because I'm not sure how I should use AI for learning, but that's just another completely different thing. So in summary, what I want to do after eating would be to focus on defining the process that I've done, that I've used to create this, creating some 1% improvements that I can make, some actionable steps, then focusing on following those actionable steps on the next execution of trying to build this, and then also defining my learning system for AI. Like, how do I learn with AI better, you know? Should I, let me just actually put this here. You see, I have many questions here that I want to answer. Anytime that I have questions, like, I need to note them down somewhere. And I also need to create a system for that. So let me just write this down. I guess this should go into my task list, but right now my Notion is also a bit crazy. But I can actually do this, yeah. Okay, so I have many things that I want to do. Many things. Let me actually go to Notion. Let me put all of my tasks that I want to get done, and then I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna eat and do all of that. So let's go. Alright, so I'm gonna make myself some meals now. I have finished working, and yeah, I'm gonna eat chicken breast with onions, tomatoes, and butter, all cooked together. Basically the same meal I eat every single day, and also with peanuts and onions, like raw onions with peanuts. Yeah, I actually like that a lot. I don't know why, but I'm gonna eat that. I'm also gonna cook my eggs for dinner, and after this I'm going to, actually I don't know if I'm gonna have time to work a little bit more, because after I'm going to join a call with some friends online. I'm in a community, so I'm gonna do that, and then we'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna start cooking, and I'll share some insights if 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 I feel like I want to share something, because I'm gonna be thinking while I cook. I'm gonna be thinking while I eat about my processes and what I'm doing, and if I'm prioritizing correctly. I'm gonna think about my current struggles and problems, and I might want to share something with you when I'm cooking and doing all of that. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so here is the meal. We've got the chicken breast here, and we've got, oi, I almost fell down. We got the eggs over here. Now I'm gonna clean both pans, and then let me see the time. It's 3, so maybe like an hour. Yeah, I'll work for an hour and a half, something like this, and we'll see. I'm gonna prioritize my tasks in a second, so let's go. Here we've got dinner. I'm gonna eat my eggs, my sardines for the protein, omega-3, for the fats, calories, everything. There's everything on this plate. Then we've got some salad and salt for the flavor, so this doesn't get too bland. And then here we have some more peanuts. Not much, just a little bit for the calories as well. I'm gonna get this done, and then after this I will be meditating. So I'll see you in a second.